Živjo, Ivy here. Welcome to my reading journal. And please excuse my nail polish is just flying off, but that doesn't matter. Let's just get into it. This month I've been reading a lot of fantasy. Well, actually, it is a trilogy. Am I saying this right? Trilogy? Anyway, I'm having these books for entire year and now I'm reading them. But I will talk about them later. So, since it's March, it's beginning of spring, and I thought to make everything, well, the first page more green. So I found a bunch of these scrapbook paper, and yeah, I just wanted to stick them on, and because I didn't have much else to go with, I just wanted to try different things. I still have a lot to learn how I want to make these reading journals. Like I mentioned, I think in the previous reading journal, I still like my older journal that I had last year, but I really wanted to try it a bit different. I've been watching a lot of different creators that make journals, reading journals or bullet journals, and I just want to try it out myself. At first I thought, because in the first 2, January and February, I actually wrote down which books I was reading before I went to the separate page to make a page just for that book that I was reading. And so you could already tell what I was reading. So in this one, I did the same, but then I decided to cut it off, so you don't know which books I'm reading until I'm done. All my stationery that I have, it's all from Teddy. It's just a regular store that have many things really cheap. And sometimes you can find really good stuff. And on these ones, I was going to write the names. Again, I was doing it a little bit different. In the past, I wrote down like the name of the book, the star, and what genre it is, and when did I start and finish. So I don't know. I'm trying to change things up. I want to mix things up and see how it would work. But here I only wrote the name and the stars, which we will come back to it later. So, the books that I was reading, well, the first one, that is The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. And I don't know how to feel about it when you read fantasy book that is for young adults, because sometimes the young adults that are written in these books can be quite annoying. And I'm not saying that these characters all were perfect. Some did kind of annoy me, but it was amazing. I love the way Holly created this world. The Fae are not these beautiful creatures with powers. I mean, they do have powers and all that, but boy, some of them can be terrifying. And the world and the way they have rules, it's not okay for a mortal to be there. So how did this go? If I remember right, the mother that was married with the Fae general, she ran away from the Fae world and went to the human world. But she already had a child with this Fae. His name was Maddox. And she then later had twins, 2 girls, with another human man that she ran off with. So the first daughter that she had with Maddox is actually half Fae, so he kind of came to collect her. But then murder happened and he took the 2 girls that are completely human with him. Now he was, even though they kind of hated him for what he has done, which understandable, they still kind of accepted him as their dad. Not completely, but Vivian, who is his daughter, she completely hated him. But he wasn't all that bad. That you learn more towards when you read the second and third book. For Jude and her twin sister Tyrene, it was really hard to be accepted. So they want to be accepted in the Fae world, but they did show it different. For example, they were always quiet. They didn't want to have any problems with anyone, but sadly, Jude was a main target to Prince Carden and his little lackeys, his friends. And she decided she's not going to be quiet anymore. She's going to play hard and dirty with them. Just like they are mean to her, she's going to be mean to them. But Tyrene, on the other hand, she wants to do it more peaceful. So you can already see as twins, they already are a bit different. But yeah, a lot of things happen. Jude was really more into fighting. She was rebellious, while Tyrene was more like ladylike, like princess. And Jude wanted to be really accepted into the Fae world. And she wanted to be a part of an army, I believe. But her dad, Maddox, was not cool with it. He said like, yeah, we're gonna talk about it later. But the soon-to-be king, Prince something with D, I forgot his name. He kind of seeked her out because Faye could not lie, but she can, and she became his spy. And she was accepted, but sadly, before the new king could be crowned, the whole massacre happened. And everything went to, So the only one that was left in that family was Carden and another brother. The family was huge. This previous king had around 2 daughters and 3 sons, so 5 kids in total. But in the end, only 2 of them were there. Because, murder happened. So Jude kind of had a different type of a plan. She did not want that older brother to become king. So she made a completely different plan. She basically had Carden with a knife to his throat, which these two are perfect enemies to lovers. I don't think I read a book that was this kind of enemies to lovers. And yes, there is romance, but it comes later. I love that it's so slow, slow paced. It's just basically about story, the world, how it works, and I love it. But yeah, in the end, she kind of made Carden agree with her that they should make somebody else a king. It was her little brother, which apparently had the blood of his. He is Carden's half brother, something like that. And in the end, that's not what Jude had in mind. She completely lied to Carden, as you know, humans can lie. And in the end, she made Carden the king, and he did not want nothing to do with all this being the king, being in, he just didn't want it. But yeah, that was like the ending to The Cruel Prince. And then we are going to The Wicked King. The Wicked King starts as, Carden did not play really as a role as a king. He was more of a puppet to Jude. Jude was the one making plans and everything. She became like the queen of the spies. And basically she was like ruling this kingdom. And the reason why she did not want anybody to become like the next king and why Carden is king is because her father Maddox wanted to put her younger brother to be king so that he can rule over his little. Well, he accepted, I think his name was Oak, the little brother. He wanted to rule over. He did accept Oak as his son, even though he's not his son. Yeah, in the end, he would be more in control than the little boy. The boy was like, 8 years old? He can be king. So yeah, she wanted to prevent her father to have the power, so she made a different plan. And a lot of things are happening in Wicked King. Tyrene wants to get married to this boy who has been torturing Jude, and he's a player. He's like Loki, right? He is a trickster, and ooh, this boy deserves beating. Oh, the things that this kid did. Okay, he's not a kid. They're all teenagers, but you know. And I was so like, Tyrene, come on, really, you chose this guy. I actually had in back of my mind, she did not choose him, did she? But she did. And also, you, as a human, you had to wear like these, like strawberry something around your, not just around your neck. It's like something that helps the Fae to prevent them to put you on a spell. Because if they catch you on a spell, they can do with you whatever they want. So yeah, staying in the Fae world, being human, is not easy. In The Wicked King, I have to say, Jude really did everything by herself. She didn't trust anyone, especially since, well, I'm probably gonna say her name wrong, Natsisia. Basically, she's the princess of the sea. She kind of told Jude that she is already betrayed by the people that she knows the most. And I had already two people in my mind, and I'm not gonna say who it is. You have to read it. But Jude wasn't just betrayed by these two people that I had in mind. She was betrayed constantly. And I kind of get it. She didn't trust nobody. She did everything by herself. And at one point where it was Tyrene's wedding, she got kidnapped and dragged to the sea world. And the older brother for Carden that wanted to be king was there, and he was working with the queen of the sea, and they wanted to overthrow the throne, and he wanted still to take Carden's place to be king, and it was just almost for a war to break out. The biggest betrayal that our Jude felt was with Carden, especially at the end. He asked her to be the queen, his queen, to rule with him, but he wanted her to release him from that he is no longer her puppet, so he can like rule as a king. She got betrayed, and she got banished to the human world, and she was not allowed to come back. If she does come to the Fae world, she will be killed immediately. And that was like the ending of The Wicked King. And the last book, The Queen of Nothing. Jude being in the human world, she had to find something to do. She was very bored and all that. And she got a visit from her twin sister, and yeah, Jude is very pissed off at her sister. But then she found certain things out, like Tyrene killed her husband. And I was like, girl, so even though you are twins, one is more softer, one is more hardcore, you're not all that different, it seems. Because she had the skill to kill her husband. Go Tyrene. But yeah, Tyrene was supposed to be judged in front of the king, so basically Carden, if she was the one that killed her husband. Jude could go there. I didn't tell you this, but in the first book, that prince with the D name, that she became his spy, he kind of gave her like certain, not power, like nobody can put a spell on her. Basically, she is protected. So she wanted, so they made a deal that Jude goes to the Fae world as Tyrene and be on that court. Of course, it was dangerous. If they find out that she is not Tyrene, she would be executed. Carden, he recognizes her immediately. But no, he did not want to get her executed. What I find interesting is that when he got her alone, he said, "Did you get my letters? Why didn't you never reply to my letters?" And that's what I want to know. If anyone read these books. I know there's not a sequel, but a book. I will leave like the cover of the book somewhere. It's basically a POV of Carden, like for the entire 3 books, I believe. Are the letters written there? Like, I really want to see particular. I did see them some on Instagram and on Pinterest, but I was just wondering, are they written in that book? But yeah, when I've read some of those, it was really kind of a sweet and heartbreaking, and yeah. But back to the story. Jude got kidnapped by Madoc's army because he thought that it's Tyrene and he wanted to save his daughter. He's still a good dad. I mean, he did some bad stuff and all that, but he's Fae, they're not exactly nice. He kind of like saved Jude Tyrene. But basically then, as she stayed with Madoc, her dad, he kind of then later found out that it's not Tyrene, it's Jude. And then there was a fight, and Jude almost died. And I don't know, should I say country? Or this world, the Fae world, kind of accepted her because it healed her when she was close to dying. And she was brought back to Carden and she ruled with him a little bit until Madoc came with his army and they wanted to... It was all about to overthrow Carden so that he can become king. And Carden had this amazing speech that it's not the crown that makes a king, but a person. And he broke the crown. And the guy that made that crown, he just got horrified because everything that he makes, he puts a spell on it. And it's an ugly spell. Something will go wrong. And when Carden destroyed the crown, he turned into this gigantic poisonous black snake. And Jude didn't know what to do because now she is ruling alone. She is losing the faith of the people because she is a human queen and they do not trust humans. She still did have some people with her, but it was hard and she didn't know how to break the spell. There has to be a way to break the spell, and they say that there isn't. The only way to it's not break the spell, it's basically like, or was it? I know it said something like to spill the blood of the snake, the new king will be reborn, or something like that. And basically that's what Jude did, and that was basically breaking the spell. Did I just spoil that? I'm sorry. But yeah, a lot of things are happening here. I have to say that the beginning, as she was in the human world until she got to the Fae world, it was a little bit hard to get into. But overall, I find it still interesting. Even though they say that this book, the last one, was a little bit weak, it still wasn't all that bad. I enjoyed this book. The first two were definitely a lot of things have been happening. This one isn't bad either. But yeah, there is a happy ending. Everything was okay. Carden is still king. The Fae people accepted Jude as the queen. Happy ever after. Also, I have to say, even though Madoc did so many things, Jude could not punish her father, to execute him. So she did what Carden did to her. He was banished to the human world. She still sees him as a father because she remembers how he was reading stories to her. He wasn't perfect, but he was trying. And the last book, The Housemaid. This is completely different. Yeah, I wanted something different, not just fantasy again. So I am reading The Housemaid that has mystery, thriller, and crime. This book reminds me of Behind Closed Doors because it's all about this room that is soundproof and it's one-way lock. So if you read that book, you know where you're getting yourself into. So basically, this is all about a rich family, and they are looking for a housemaid to help out. And this rich woman, Nina, kind of had an interview with Millie. Millie kind of lives in a car. She came out of prison, and it's really hard to find a job. And she was really hoping to work for this rich family so that because she's going at the end, she's living in her car, she won't be able to buy herself food anymore. And she was accepted. And Millie found out that Nina, the first day when she had an interview with her, she was not this sweet, kind woman. She was a hell. Like, oh my god. Even I started to get annoyed with Nina. And the husband that Nina was married to, Andrew, this is basically also given me like Andrew, like he's a perfect husband, handsome and all that, and just reminded me a little bit of Verity from Colin Hoover. Like Verity had this perfect husband and Lowen was just stupidly just falling in love with him. The same happened here, right? There's no perfect person or perfect husband. I still don't believe that that guy in Verity was, what was his name, Jeremy, was perfect husband. So here, Andrew is not a perfect husband. Oh hell no. Millie sadly learned that way too late when Nina finally escaped her husband. Nina was trying everything to escape her husband and to escape that room. So yeah, never trust a man if you think that he's perfect or just because he's handsome. Because he is using his money, his power, and his charm to gain people on his side. And no matter what you say, nobody's going to believe you. And that's what Nina had to go through. So yeah, Nina did kind of like escape, but the guy Enzo, who was a gardener who worked there, he kind of helped Nina, but at the same time, he did not like the plan that Nina had to leave Millie with her husband. But Nina is also very smart, because when Nina found out that Millie came from prison, she hired a detective to find out why she was in prison, what type of person Millie is, and she thought, yeah, these two can just be together, you know. She's a prisoner, she did bad stuff, and Andrew is a horrible dude. Like, they're like perfect for each other. Like, Nina thought that Millie will have him under control, but oof. But yeah, like I said, Enzo said that he actually went to look back into the house and nobody came out of that house. No one. And he told to Nina that she needs to go back and look what's going on, because something's not right. Oh yeah, it's not right. Things happened. And the ending, especially Andrew's family, especially his mom, just shocked me. And I have to say that this book, it's not bad. But I have to say that beginning all the way to the half of the book, I was not feeling so well. I wasn't feeling drawn until things start to happen. And then it was just like, WTF. I constantly keep saying that. And I keep shutting the book down and then thinking, oh my god, what's gonna happen now? What is this? What kind of a man is this? Now I understand Nina and poor Millie. And yeah, the more it was then going from halfway till the end, it was good. That's my opinion. So yeah, this is pretty damn good. I do suggest, if you want to read a little bit mystery, thriller, and crime, HOUSEMAID is pretty good. And if you've read the Behind Closed Doors and you like that book, I do suggest you read this one too. And now we are going back here to give all the stars. I actually have a new star stamp, so the stars look perfect. And yeah, and I wrote here like, when did I start, when did I finish reading the books. So Cruel Prince is 4.5, Wicked King the same, Queen of Nothing 4, and HOUSEMAID 4 stars. And here is my end result. As usual, I will leave my pages blank. I will also write them in my language, what I think, my thoughts about it. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed my little video, and I hope to see you in my next one. Ciao ciao!